What's going on, everyone? Um, I was gonna initially do this a couple days from now, but it's a bunch of ideas that I think I would have lost, and for the sake of time, because of the things are like fresh on my brain, I'm just gonna just kind of go off the cusp, just get it fresh out of my memory banks. But this this idea just kind of came to mind when I just kind of thought about things. I what I was thinking about was initially I was thinking about basically how women, they don't really know and realize they don't have a lot of time as far as conception, being able to have children if they even want to. A lot of women, they um they don't really want, some women, they came to the conclusion that they don't really want to have children, but some women, they just waited too late and put themselves in a situation where it becomes impossible almost to have a children naturally. And then some, uh have like birth, or let's just say health issues such as PCOS, uh, issues with fibroids, might have other underlying health issues where they would have problems conceiving a child. So I just wanted to just kind of, these ideas is just kind of like let's just say it's just a thought, but I could just, or a vision, I'll just say. So I'll just go off the first, like, basically, to just a synopsis is that they came with some type of male birth control. It's just basically a pill that you take every day or something like that, and or even just say right before you're sexually active, or if you know that you're sexually active, you take it every day, right? And you get it in your bloodstream, and it basically puts your uh sperm in a position where that it's not mobile. You can still have the effects or the sensations of sex, but your sperm becomes sterile during the period of you taking this birth control pill. And I just thought about it, and the reason why this thought came up was that, back to what I was saying about women that wait too late, because 35 years old, I would say, is is the danger zone as far as a woman being able to have a child, right? Because you gotta, have someone to have a child with, right? Finding the right guy or finding a guy. Um, you got about 10 years, actually, really five, before you consider, having a high risk pregnancy. A lot of times, even 35 is considered a high risk pregnancy, right? So 35 is like the alarm sounding. You're in a state of where I call it, you're in a, you become an elder parent, like, because basically once your child, like, if let's just say a woman today, she has her first child at 35. When the child is 10, you're 45. You become an elder parent. So the thing is that women don't really have the time to wait. They don't. I would say, just briefly, women's fertility conception window is like 2 lives or 2 years compared to a man's. Because, for example, a man that is, in his 60s, he can still, bust off and have, healthy sperm to where, I mean, it's not a, sperm of a 20-year-old guy or 18-year-old, but it's live sperm that, can recreate children or create, babies. Whereas a 65-year-old woman, you can pretty much shoot all in the club and have a good time. She knows she's not going to get pregnant. The other, other party, the man knows that he's not going to get this woman pregnant. She's already went through menopause in her late 40s, you know, to when she was in her 50s. And, it's pretty much the factory is closed. So the thing is that one of the things I'll say is that, yeah, definitely, women really, time as far as relationships when it comes to women, a lot of times women just they get their time wasted so much so that it's just ridiculous. It just, I don't understand why women think they have so much time. And I think it's because they're just being lied to. But let's go back to that 35-year-old woman. This is where I thought of this idea and this concept. Basically, it becomes a situation where who is this woman going to sleep with? 35 years old. She's now, she's getting alarm bells in her head. She's like, I have this mission. I need to have a child. So ideally, they would get some guy that is, just pretty much. He's got genetic material pretty much. Doesn't really probably have a job. Doesn't have a really good job. Or no job at all, of course. And classic example. She goes out with this guy, has a good time. It's a mission in her head that this guy doesn't know about, that she wants to get pregnant. And then on the course of the fun, she gets pregnant. Example A, she, already knew the guy pretty much, was not really uh, someone that will be an ideal father for the child. She just wanted to have the child. She wanted to have the baby. She wanted to have her get her late baby out the way. And she might, come to the guy and be like, okay, well, I'm pregnant. What are you going to do? Are you going to help me out? And see what the guy's going to say or see what the guy's going to do. Guy, doesn't really want to be a father. He, wondered, why were you trying to get pregnant? Weren't you on birth control? Or, all of these different scenarios of, the multitude of birth control women have access to. And he, basically just kind of leaves her alone. She doesn't pursue him on child support because her mission was to just get pregnant. She, just, was just gonna have fun with this guy, but she had a mission, and her mission was to get pregnant. And she completed her mission. She got the genetic material that she needed. She, tried to pursue the man to see what he was gonna, ideally, if she could have her cake and eat it too, which meaning if she could have the guy involved in the life with her and the child, but she, settled, went her separate way, and just had her baby, and did not pursue child support with the gentleman in question. And that's not typically how that goes. Typically, how this goes is scenario B, which same woman, 35 years old. She same alarm bells ring, mission, mission. You need to get pregnant right away. So she meets the same guy, and have a good time. She gets pregnant. She comes to the guy, hey, I'm pregnant, and the guy has the same response, why didn't you use birth control? Why don't you go get an abortion? Why you didn't use plan B or whatever the case may be. So she basically um, just kind of takes things a step further. She knows the guy's name. She knows where he lives. She knows what kind of car he drives. She's got some information to take to the state to file child support. And I would say scenario B is the more of the usual. And here's the thing, another thing, guys don't know that you could be dealing with a woman and she could be on a mission. And her mission is to get your genetic material. Kind of like, I mean, if you are an older person and you're a movie buff like me, this reminds me of the movie Species. If you ever seen the movie Species, basically she was going on, she was an alien woman and she was going on a date to find men just so she can have, more alien offspring. Well, I mean, the thing is that guys could be very well on a date with a woman and just being happy that they can get some easy free pussy and then end up next, getting the woman pregnant, thinking that she's a, bust down or whatever, a slut or thought or whatever. And then they just skeet all in her. And then they like, all right, well, whatever. And not knowing that she was being easy because she was 35 years old, 37 years old, whatever, 38. And she knew that she had a mission she had to complete, which was to have her baby before she's no longer able to. And her secondary mission, unlike, scenario A, was to have someone finance her mission, which is, to have this baby and, seeking out this mission, which the other guy didn't know anything about, wasn't planning on having a baby. He was just having a good time, and he didn't have a job. He didn't, wasn't gainfully employed, so he wasn't ready to help bring any children in the world. And that pretty much doesn't matter. She wants her secondary mission, which is for the man to self-finance her secret mission that she had only in her head, and that was it. She didn't tell the guy. And that was what I was thinking about, because when it comes to men, we don't have any male birth control. The only male birth control is to the pull-out method. I'll give you another one. You get in a hot tub. Get in a hot tub, full steam. Pretty much that's what the Egyptians did. A long time ago. You get, heat up your, gonads pretty much. That pretty much kills a lot of your sperm temporarily because of the high heat. But other than that freebie that I just gave you as an alley-oop because I'm an old hotep dude or whatever, there's no male birth control that you can ingest, no pill that is approved by the FDA or whatever that you can take so you will not have any children. But with scenario, if every woman was like woman A, where she was just basically had a mission to get pregnant. She was older than 30 years old or approaching 40. And she was just wanting to get pregnant, but ideally she did want another guy to help her and take care of the baby. And if she can get the both her cake and he eat it too, which is the guy to take care of the baby and also, help her and everything else. Um, she would love that, but she's okay with just being a mom, a single mother, and just getting her genetic material and going about her, merry way. If most women were like that, most men wouldn't really care. Unfortunately, most women are like woman B, whereas they're on this secretive mission to get this genetic material, and they also have a secondary mission, and that is to um, get the person that has the genetic material to finance that secret mission that the guy didn't know about. So that question had me think about why there is no male birth control, and what the world would look like if there was male birth control. So this is just something in my big old, cerebellum of ideas as far as what I think the world would be like if there was male birth control. And I'll go from 5 to 10 years, and then I'll go from 20 to 30 years. And I mean, I don't know if you're watching, you can chime in as well. But this is what I take on it. My take on it. I would say in 5 to 10 years, just brainstorming, basically the value of men will go up. Okay, because ideally the ability for women to actually use scenario B. I mean, women are not going to stop trying to have children. They're not going to try to, stop trying to get married or anything else. The world is not going to stop for women. They're going to still, try to do whatever they're going to try to do. But in 5 to 10 years after male birth control, I would say that definitely men's value would go up, because basically the ability for, I mean, men to be put on child support and all of that, or the capacity, or um, I just say uh, the reality of that, it will still be men that'll be put on child support, but it'll be like, a guy will be the laughing stock. He'll be like, the chuckle of the town, because he's like, damn, dude, you didn't get the morning after pill or the morning before pill or whatever the case may be. You didn't take your male birth control, and people would be like, well, scratching their head like, man, I mean, why would you risk all of this, when, I mean, it'll still be some simps. It's gonna always be simps. It's gonna always be, the blue pillars that ain't gonna take the birth control, right? Or they'll be like, that's against women. Yeah, you have male feminists that won't take their male birth control, right? All of these people that exist now, they'll still, you know, help keep the system going to a certain extent, but in mass, in the first 5 to 10 years, there'll definitely be a big drop off. Because the thing about it is, right now, there's a lot of men that, and it's quite surprising, um, that it's a lot of men that they don't even have any children. It's quite a few men that they don't even have any children. They never had children. They've never been married, and might not have any children. They might, it's guys that have took a vow to be a lifetime playboy. They won't, get married, never get married. They'll never. Some men don't even never want to really have children, or if they want to have children, they want it on their terms, it's damn near they have to be a millionaire or close to it to be able to even have children. And it's like, you know, a lot of guys, they've already are bleeding the system. You got guys that are MGTOWs and, you know, IPMORs, all kind of other stuff that they already are not having children. You know, they're already, you know, a lot of young men that are scared to have children because they've heard the horror stories of child support. They've, you know, heard of the, you know, child support arrest warrants and all this other stuff. So now you have an extra tool which is added to this, which is male birth control. So then it'll be a situation where it'll be a lot more women crying, a lot more women pleading, and it's a situation where the men that are already out there, I mean, that they'll be hated. I think men will definitely be hated more, most likely, because that quiver to be able to randomly select a guy and you know, just kind of trap him up and get pregnant. I mean, just think about it. The NBA players who will be taking this, the NBA guys, the NFL guys, all the entertainers, you know, all these professional athletes that, you know, make money and everything, they won't have to worry about any, you know, Instagram model, you know, kicking it with them and then getting pregnant. It will just that those problems will be just literally out the window. And you know, it'll be a situation where, yeah, first 5 to 10 years, I'd imagine that, you know, the first 5 years, there'll start to be a drop off in basically birth rates. That's the obvious. Yeah, birth rates will plummet. And this will be a worldwide thing. It won't just be in, let's just say, if birth control was, you know, given in the United States, and you know, it'll be an international drop off of basically childbirth, because a lot of times guys don't necessarily want to have children, even if they got a girlfriend that they like or wife even they like. They just really just don't want to pull out. Most people don't want to pull out. They don't want to, you know, really wear a condom. So they would just basically use this pill, have their fun, you know, wait a year or two to have a child or even longer than that. And they'll just constantly take their birth control. So, yeah, the first 5 years, you'll start to see a national birth rate decline, you know. And I don't know, as far as the social dilemma of that, I mean, you already have a lot of women that they have cats, they have dogs. I think it's gonna be more women that's gonna just have cats and dogs as you know, proxy, you know, parent children. And you're gonna have, you know, probably even women that will not want to have sex, because it's like, what's the point of having sex if I'm not gonna get pregnant? And you know, it's just gonna be people, I guess, socially being more disconnected, men and women. I don't know. It's just these are all brainstorming of this, but and then you're gonna have bums on the street becoming more valuable. This is the funny thought that I had in my head. You'll have women, they'll actually, like, the low down, just kind of bums, you know, lower, just lower caste men of society. I see women being so desperate, they will go to Skid Row and be in the alley with bums trying to get their sperm just so they can have children. I mean, obviously, women are going to go to sperm banks. Sperm banks prices will skyrocket. I think right now for a vial of sperm in a sperm bank is like I think I don't know, $300 to $600. Think it's more if you want to actually know what the guy looks like and what his picture is and his profile, how educated he is, how tall he is, and all this other stuff. If you actually want to know the profile of a donor, the women have to pay more for that. So I think that's like almost $1,000 if you actually want to know who the actual donor is that sperm that you're taking. But if you just want a random sample, I think it's like anywhere between $300 to $500 at a sperm bank. But yeah, you gonna have the price of sperm in a sperm bank going up. Then you gonna have just chicks that just literally, man, I just see them coming in lower like the ghettos and just even Skid Row trying to get pregnant because they just need that genetic material. Like you have women going on the street and asking men, "Are you on the pill?" I mean, this is just like I said, this is brainstorming, but it just it is kind of like what I see, man. I mean, guys that are not on the pill or even let's just say can't afford the pill, those men will become more valuable. Just men in general will become more valuable. After about 10 years, preschools will start closing up. Definitely preschools. Grammar schools and high schools will start slowly closing up shop. Teachers will be starting to get laid off, start complaining. You start to see CNN where teachers are complaining about schools being closed because there's not enough children to fill the schools. I mean, that's obvious, right? And another thing is that you'll start to kind of get a little societal breakdown. You have probably women rioting in the streets, and another thing is because babies will become valuable, right? Because men and women not having children, or men having the control of fertility in childbirth, being in control of childbirth, because yeah, I mean, men primarily, they want sex the most. The urge for sex for men is just tremendous, right? Uh, so men are still having sex, but they're not having any children. So yeah, you'll have women that will be kidnapping children. Kidnaps will probably go up probably 500% because babies are more, demand, right? Not that many people are having babies. So people that have baby people, man, if you people probably have strollers with cages on. I mean, I don't know. This is Mad Max type stuff, but this just thoughts, man. This is just random thoughts in my head. But yeah, kidnappings will go up. They'll start kidnapping. One good thing possibly about this is that kids that are for adoption or whatever, it won't be that many kids that are in adoption, because actually the drive to have a child will be so strong that yeah, the adoption rates will plummet because one, you won't be too many people that will be putting their children up for adoption, because people be banging on their door trying to get them to have a child. I mean, and then obviously the cost of surrogacy will go up. I think in the United States the price of surrogacy is about probably what, $100,000 now. It'll probably go up substantially from that. or I think it's 50,000, but it'll definitely go up as far as surrogacy costs. Um, and you probably have, yeah, you'll have men that probably will be going into male prostitution or something, or even getting into the business of getting women pregnant for money. I mean, that definitely is an obvious thing, right? uh so yeah, I mean, kidnappings will go up, and people that will never probably would have adopted, they'll start adopting children. So that's the good thing about this, I guess. One good caveat to this is that the kids that will um be, because it's like an overflow of adoptions, right? It's a lot of, like, children that that they have never been adopted. They go their whole life and they've never been adopted, or they waiting for somebody to adopt them. It'll probably be a waiting list for children to be adopted or whatever, because it'll be that much of a high demand. Okay, so um that's 5 to 10 years. Okay, so let's talk about um 20 to, let's go from 20 to 30 years. Let's go sci-fi with this shit. um 20 to 30 years with male birth control. Oh man. So all right, and I know I missed something, but I mean, um definitely in the comment section, put what you think might be the what will be if male birth control was accepted. So yeah, let's talk about 20 to 30 years. Okay, so 20 to 30 years, the population of humans would be plummeted by like a billion or more. Okay, might even be like 2 billion. I mean, it'll be like some space alien type stuff where it just mass just die offs because because of male birth control. Yeah, it goes into the situation where people will probably be like, why did they even, it'll start getting sci-fi after this shit. After the 20 to 30 year mark of male birth control, shit's gonna start getting sci-fi, where people are gonna be like, well, they shouldn't have gotten birth control, they shouldn't have gave, this is what happens when you get men birth control, and blah. And you'll have, yeah, you have a massive just it's not so much of a die off, it'll just be where basically it'll be more people that die than born, because basically um you got a bunch of men that actually can have some type of birth control to control those sexual urges, and they won't, and instead of getting somebody pregnant on a Saturday night, they'll just take their birth control Friday night, and then instead of getting a chick pregnant at the club, like it's somebody getting a chick pregnant from the club, from like it's dudes that literally got some chicks pregnant at the club this weekend. That wouldn't really happen. That would be a rarity, because you take your birth control on Friday, and you go out Friday, Saturday, and have a good time and meet somebody, and make love in the club, or make love outside in the parking lot, or in the hotel room, or whatever. You could still do all of these activities, but you took your birth control on Thursday and Friday, and you won't get hurt, the random chick that you met on Saturday. So or Friday. So you yeah, you all of a lot of that stuff, would be eliminated. And it'll create this world where in 20 to 30 years it will be a lot less schools, a lot less preschools, and it'll just be where you'll just have just a lot less people, unfortunately. I mean, it'll start getting sci-fi type where just be not that many people, um, not that many childbirths either, and it'll be a situation where people will probably really zero in on childbirth. Childbirth will be something that will be kind of more sacred, more precious. Um, and let's talk about some negative stuff, some seriously negative things. Yeah, wars will still go on. Obviously it'll be a situation where whoever has the least children, or even I don't know, they will probably be trying to they'll be trying to kidnap men. They'll try to I don't know, man. It just seems like I mean, wars will still go on, but I guess what the populace that has the least people will be attacked. It's just, yeah, man. It's like it'll be something related to wars as far as control will still be going on, but I guess it's like whoever has the least people will be under attack. But you know, it'll start getting real perilous at this point from the 20 to 30 year mark, because all of those childbirths that normally would have happened, they didn't happen. So then it'll be a situation where men will almost be like walking around like Jedi's because they got literally control over childbirth. You'll beyond you'll I mean Another thing is that at this point it'll be beyond begging, like in the first 5 to 10 years, women begging in the streets. Like, I mean, you got women getting on their knees begging men to marry them, and then obviously that'll turn into begging them to have a baby. You'll have women just outside, just like trying to literally bust it open for some man to impregnate them. Well, it's 20 to 30 year mark, it'll just be where I guess women that have money, they can just go walk into a sperm bank, and then they just press a button, put in their debit card or their neural plant or whatever the hell they paying with it, 20 to 30 years from now. And in the future, with male birth control, they'll just pay for their sperm, and they inject the sperm and then wait till they get pregnant, and deal with everything themselves. And yeah, I mean, there'll still be people that get married, and I guess marriage will be something that will be, I guess, more sacred as well, because you're having children in a marriage. Obviously the man is gonna get off the birth control at some time. You'll probably have a lot of marriages where birthless marriages, you know where people have been married for a long time and they don't have any children. That'll probably be more common. um and then yeah, it'll just be like, people, I guess, because they don't have to worry about a lot of children, They have a lot of time on their hands to deal with technology. I mean, I see this the 20 to 30 year mark as being a complete technocratic society where people are just pretty much all they have to, they have a lot of time on their hands to just deal with things relating to higher advance in technology. So the world becomes kind of more like just Tron, like where you have flying cars and automated cars that run on solar power and shit like that, and everybody's driving around in pods and stuff like that, where you just focus on technology is the primary focus of most citizens, and childbirth becomes automated at this point. And yeah, it becomes starting to get sci-fi. But yeah, I mean, this is all I have. I mean, this is just, I was gonna do this a couple days ago, but I just had to get this off of my chest. But this, let me know what you think about this.